Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Segment Podcast. This is episode 115 with the Trail Wolves. And
Woo.
I got Chris Santos here with me, Saint Wolf MTB on Instagram. What's going on, Chris?
Nothing much. Going good. Good day today. How you doing?
Doing good, brother. Thank you so much for jumping on. And backstage, we got us part of the squad back there. We got one of the
Sure.
one of the co-founders of the Trail Wolves, Mr. Jason Flores, is on board. So that's going to be sweet to talk to Jason. And we also got Luke. But Chris, as far as how you're doing, I know I recently saw a crash at Snow Summit.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit to kick off the show?
Of course. Let's go right into it.
Yeah.
So we had the Snow Summit races just recently, and I was preparing for that on Saturday. But lo and behold, like any park rat would, a lot of people there, and some guys from LA that I knew. Shout out to them. They wanted to do the jump line real quick through West Ridge, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I was clipped in. I haven't been clipped for about 5 months since the SRC races in Fontana. And I was going good, going smooth. And just the second jump I took in succession from another one, just kind of bucked me. I was just going too fast, too far. So yeah, that was it. I broke a collarbone, completely broken 2 spots. I now have a rod in there. Just got surgery Friday. It's feeling good. Lift about that high, but PT is going to be a little bit of work. So we'll get there.
What is the recovery on that, Chris? Is that a 9-month thing or less or more?
Well, it depends on the person, but I've heard that about 2 to 3 months, you could probably be back on a bike, not very aggressive like we all like to shred. But about 6 months' time, I'll be able to probably shred harder after it heals. So
Gotcha.
Just got to get it up and going.
Yeah, dang, man. Now I heard that the jumps there at Summit, the jump line there, Westridge, it's big, right? Like I haven't gone yet this season.
Oh, not yet. Okay. Well, yeah, it's Muscle Beach is awesome, dude. They've done some decent improvements. They did do a lot of tables, so it's going to be good for more intermediate people, even beginners who are afraid to jump, but fun nonetheless and big. Good photos.
Nice, nice. Oh, that's gonna be great. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And yeah, the Charles edition was up there. That was very cool to see. I saw Kent was up there with you guys. You guys are ripping that day.
Of course. He's almost up there every day. Or every weekend, I should say.
I feel like every time I look at Kent's Instagram, it's always like there. He is having a blast, which I love.
Oh, yeah. I have a serious case of FOMO, fear of missing out right now. Everyone's up on their shred and all the friends, Insta friends and all that. So yeah, Kent's up there a lot. And he's repping us hard up there.
I love it. I love it. It's so good. Not only repping hard, but he podiumed too that day, right?
When yes, that's right. Yes. I'm sorry about that. Kent, congratulations. Yes, he podiumed on there, and I think he got second, I believe.
Yeah, baby. Go that's Kent. Right on. That's awesome. For the folks that are tuning in for this show, we're going to have the Trail Wolves on. Chris here. Chris Santos is a member of the Trail Wolves. It's a very cool organized group, and they're all about good times and outdoors, and they're rapidly growing. I mean, gosh, I just met you guys not too long ago.
Right.
And to see the level of organization is unbelievable, which is awesome.
That's the one thing great about us. We're not also just trying to bring, mountain biking to the masses, but we're trying to bring the positivity that's within the group. And not just to also bring it to individuals, but bring groups together because, everyone filters between each other's groups, each other's rides, which is all cool. But hey, why don't we gather all the groups up, have a big old event? So that's what 06 was about last month, or yes, earlier this month.
Yeah, that was fun. We did the Greer ride and went back and had a party, which was fun. We're going to give a whole shout award out like we do on the show. We have the person who first chatted tonight, and that is going to be out of Miami, Florida, mountain bike Q&A. He's on the East Coast. He says, it's bedtime for this old man, but I still listen on my way to work tomorrow. Have a fun chat, kids. Nice. Johnny, you good to see you. Active Life 2.0 is in the house. Northern California saying, Mountain Bike Q&A, you must not be on the West Coast. It's still bright outside here. We got MTB Nick. He's out of Redlands. He's saying, hello, everybody. Good to see him. Good to see him. Let's get this party started. Active Life 2.0 says, we got Rick from EMTB Moto Adventure saying, yo. We got 100 subs on the line. Says, hello. We got Jeff Nasalga. He's saying, he's
Part of Trail Wolves. Thanks for coming in.
Oh yeah, you might
Sure.
know this guy too out of the Northern California area. Mr. Brian Gong is in the audience. What's up?
Sure. Hi,
What's
Brian.
what's up? Oh man, we got Bentonville in the house. Bentonville, Arkansas is tuning in. Scott Ripple, he says, "What's up? What's up?" Yo, Jeff, they're saying hi to each other. Mountain bike life. What's up, fellas? Love that logo. Always love that logo. All right, guys, feel free to ask questions as we get along through the show. I'm going to bring one of the co-founders up of the Trail Wolves, Chris. Let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Jason Flores.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
Jason.
What's up, man? How are you guys?
Good, brother. Good to see you, man.
Good.
Now, thank you for jumping on the show. I know you're kind of like toggling wrestling, kids wrestling, your kids wrestling practice with the show. And so, man, I'm super grateful to have you on. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
And Jason, I was talking with Chris, and we're talking about the Trails Edition and how organized you guys are. I mean, you guys have a multitude of different groups within the group, but how did the whole Trail Wolves start? What was it?
So it's crazy because it actually didn't even start in the MTB side of the house. Trail Wolves back in 2018. So I've always had this idea of like starting something called Trail Wolves. I just didn't know what it would be. So back in 2018, on one of my deployments, I ended up tearing my meniscus. I came back, had surgery, and I was like, I was an active person. I was always out off-roading here and there and doing outdoor activities. And my wife was like, hey, you know what? Why don't you just start that trail wolf thing you've been talking about for such a long time? And I was like, you know what? Maybe I will, because it was driving me crazy, walking around on crutches, sitting on the couch, and all that type of stuff. So I ended up starting Trail Wolves, and when it initially started, it was about off-road, going overlanding, camping, and things like that. And it kind of grew into everything that surrounds off-road and camping, right? So now you started to include MTB, started to include fishing, all that type of stuff that goes into overlanding. And at the time I had a good friend that I've known for years named Jeff, and he's on as well, giving a thumbs up. But he got really heavily into MTB at the time, and it was like, hey, you know what? Let's combine the two and start putting the two together, and start an MTB division. And that's kind of like where the whole MTB side of the house came into play.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy how it all came together, but that's what we're working with now.
So, Jason, was the name Trail Wolves something that you brought from the military side? Did you already have that? Was that already a pack name within a squad that you were a part of, or is that something you had thought about that you wanted to name Trail Wolves?
No, it's always been because I would go off roading and I was always trying to think of a crew name or a team name or something like that that I could do, and Trail Wolves was just one of those things. I was like, oh, Trail Wolves, and it just stuck with me. I just didn't know when or how, and things just have a funny way of working themselves out. So it wasn't really tied to the military or anything like that, but that's just how it all came about.
So you guys are out there getting outdoors, like, taking the rigs out there, off-roading, and then your buddy Jeff starts to get heavily into mountain biking. So then all of a sudden mountain bikes are starting to get on these rigs as you're getting out there. Is that how they sucked you into this whole mountain bike gig too?
Yeah, I mean, so we started it was funny because we were coming back from a trail and we stopped at this place called Rodeo X. And it just so happens that some of my neighbors also mountain bike and off-road with me. And we stopped at this place and we were like, hey, you know what? This would be a cool spot for a meet. And we took a look around and I was like, man, you know what? This would be a cool spot for a meet. And then so that was the birth of Rodeo X Rigs. And so we started doing the event Rodeo X Rigs. The first event had, it was just friends and people we trail with, and it ended up being like almost 200 vehicles came out. And then we went from volume 2 grew to like 400, and then volume 3 grew to like 500, and then volume 4 600, and
good grief,
volume 6 was like 700. And then the last event we had, I don't even know. I think it was like 700 something vehicles. People were saying there was at least 3,000 people at the last event. They were all off-road enthusiasts and things like that. And it was just funny because each one of these meets, people are riding their mountain bikes around, Super 73s, you know, stuff like that. And it just was like meshed perfectly. And it was just, you know, there's so many people that off-road that MTB and so many people that MTB that off-road. And it was, you know, that's how all of that kind of came about. And Jeff was like, hey, you know, I'm consistently, he was hitting the trails up there. Him, Jello, Donnie, a bunch of people up there were consistently hitting trails. And they were like, hey, you know, we really want to jumpstart this MTB thing. And then it just kind of took a life of its own, you know? So.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, when you get like over 1,000 vehicles out there and 2 to 4 people per vehicle, that's a lot of mountain bikes that's potentially going to get there on the mountain as well. And the rigs that you guys are bringing out, I only got to go to the get together we had here for the Greer ride for Trail Wolves.
The 06 MTB.
That was 06. Yeah. And some of just a few of the rigs that made it that day, like that's just not normal. You guys will just have normal off-roaders going on. Like that is some like James Bond stuff you have going on. Can you talk about some of the rigs that you guys have as part of the Trail Wolves?
Yeah, I mean, so majority of the rigs that we have currently, or the trail team, are mostly Toyotas. We do have some that Chris, I believe, is building his Escalade. Another buddy that's building his Tahoe. So we're expanding, and we do have 2 guys that have Jeeps, like a JK and a JL. But majority of the cars that we have are like Toyotas. I have a GX myself, and some of the guys I drove 4Runners, Tacomas, Tundras, stuff like that.
Dang.
So it's really cool because I mean I was on way back. I don't know if you remember or if you were in the hot import night scene at the time. You know, import show off and all that stuff. So I had an Integra back then and a Prelude, and I used to do, you know, fix it up, and you were into all his engine swaps and all that type of stuff.
JDM,
so, the JDM stuff, man. So it kind of just stuck with us, right? And then so instead of Hondas, now we're into Toyotas. You know, years later, we all have kids and stuff like that, and we're older. So now we're like, okay, we need a car and an activity that I don't have to slow down for speed bumps, and you know that I can still participate or whatnot. So
and bring everyone, bring a whole family at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Started, right? Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I noticed a lot of Tacomas and Tundras, you know, at the one here in Murrieta at the off-road store that we were all part at. And dude, that one that I saw, like, I don't know whose that was. Chris, I don't know, was that yours or was that somebody had brought a Tacoma that was so dialed?
Kuya Jace, do you know whose it was who brought a Tacoma?
Man,
it could have been a 4Runner if that was the gray one you're talking about.
It was a gray one, yeah. So
TRD Mamba,
yeah, TRD Gray Mamba, that's Cecil, yeah. Dude, so yeah, his 4Runners out pretty fast.
That thing was a beast.
Indeed,
that thing was sick. That thing was sick. So then you guys you have this off-road group. You're starting to see more and more bikes joining it, and then you thought, we're going to start this division for MTB, the Trail Wolves MTB edition. And I noticed that when you guys are doing the groups, you guys are calling, is the division called 06 or are the group showings called 06?
So originally the idea was we had Rodeo X already established. And the big thing about Rodeo X rigs, which I didn't fail to mention, was that it's bringing the community together for an actual cause, right? So the first event was, you know, about multiple sclerosis, and
dude, that's awesome.
Then, you know, we've also done stuff with autism, and now we're doing a cancer LLS, Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So the idea is to bring people together for a common cause. So we wanted to mirror this in the MTB side of the house, and that was the creation of 06. So 06 was supposed to be something like, you know, when you say, hey, I got your 6, I got your back. Plus, the big thing about 06 was, I don't know if you remember, but it was like back in 2000-ish, there was a wolf called 06, and it was probably the most popular political wolf in the history of the United States.
Was that Yellowstone?
Yeah, the one that got killed?
Yes.
Female wolf that got killed, correct. She crossed so there was a line driven, like it was like, I think it was a road, or it was like a line where wolves are not to be hunted and wolves can be hunted. And she literally just crossed the line one day or the street and got killed. And it was a wolf that a lot of the wolf watchers were actually following. And it went all the way up to where people were complaining to, Senate and stuff like that. And it was a big deal. I mean, if you look up 06, the wolf from Yellowstone, there's a big story on it. So being that we were trail wolves, we wanted to use that as she's our mascot. She's the one that kicks that off, right? And so 06 was meant to do the same thing that we're doing in the overland community, but in the mountain biking section, our sector.
That is awesome. And the reach that you guys have, I mean, we have people out here from Northern California all the way down to SoCal, but how big is this division? It's got to be huge.
It's pretty big, especially up north. It's pretty big, and I'd have to give the credit to Jeff Cello and Donnie and all those guys, Victor, everybody up there, man, has been so. I mean, I couldn't even the SoCal guys, Chris. I mean, this thing wouldn't even be where it was if it wasn't for everybody. You know how they say it takes a village to do things or to raise a family and stuff. It takes a huge village to build what we've built so far. So I mean, kudos to all of those guys, because I couldn't have done it myself. But I couldn't really tell you exactly like how many people it is, because there's so many people that would just come ride or come hang and support and stuff. When we do our overland events, we have our families come, and families bring kids and all that stuff. And then when you have the MTB side of the house, there's all kinds of guys that are showing up to ride and stuff like that. So big ups to Brian Gong, man. That's another guy that's been awesome and very supportive of everything we've been doing. Really, really, really good guy.
I love Brian Gong. Super good dude. Yeah, I got to get a tour of Santa Cruz thanks to Mr. Brian Gong right there.
Yeah, awesome guy, man. Yeah.
Super good guy. Now, 06, that MTB division brought some of the guys here we have backstage. I think it's a good time to bring them out now to talk about it. We got Luke on the show. We'll bring Luke up. What's up, Luke?
Hey guys.
We have joining us from the Philippines. We have Don. He's coming out. Here comes Donnie. Yo, what's up, brother?
Hey guys.
Hey, Donnie.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping on from the islands all the way out there, brother. What time is it in the Philippines right now?
10 in the morning.
Oh, dang.
So it's good. It's a good
time. And Luke, are you on our time zone?
Yeah, I'm Orange County.
Yeah.
7:18 here.
Nice. Now, how did you guys get? So Jason and his buddy Jeff are starting to build this thing out. They got Chris on board. Luke, you got on board. Don, you got on board. How did you guys find out about Trail Wolves, and how did you guys get involved?
Go ahead, Luke.
Okay. Yeah, so it all started with me at SRC with Chris. Kind of this past year, we started riding a lot, having fun. There's kind of like a small community at SRC where we all just showed up, had fun, we raced, we goofed off. We didn't really take anything seriously because we're just guys who are riding, having a good time. And that was kind of a cool point, because I think when you go to race, it's a little intimidating, right? And so we were just there, big smiles, having a good time. And that just attracted a community there and like-minded people. Me, Chris, Kent, there's a whole crew of guys there. And I just got brought in there through Chris and Kent. They got connected with Trail Wolves. They're like, hey, dude, there's this really cool community called Trail Wolves. We'd love to have you. And I was like, okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, they called me up. I think it was after Sea Otter.
That's right.
Hey, you're okay, Scout. And they just explained to me kind of the community, and that just kind of hit home for me, because there's race teams where it's all about racing, it's all about results. If you don't have those results, you can't get on the team. And this is a family, and that kind of hit home for me, because I'm out there to have fun, I'm out there to have a good time, I'm out there to have friends.
Yeah.
And so kind of that family part, bringing my wife, community. So
yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, definitely. Community is so good. I'm glad they found you and brought you on board, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be here.
And for the folks who don't know what SRC is, what is SRC?
Ooh, SRC is the local. It's a local race here in Fontana. Well,
It's called the
yeah,
Southridge Race Company, and they're based in Fontana off the 10 freeway off of Cherry. So they've been doing it for years now, even back in the early, probably in the 90s. So you have big names there. For example, Aaron Gwynn has raced there. I think Dante Silva, we just saw him there in January, February, March, as well as some OG guys. What's up to Archie, one of our Trail Wolves racers? He's been doing SRC for years too. So it's a great community, great start for racing if you're ever interested. There's a lot of beginners out there too as well. So yeah, go SRC.
And what's the season for SRC? When is that season upon us right now, or is that?
No, it's a winter season. It's January to March, and then they do have a annual race at the end of the year, and they're trying to figure out a summertime race. So maybe we'll be able to partner with them too if they're watching. With Trail Wolves, bringing that out.
That would be very cool. That's cool. It sounds like a fun event to get on board with and do as a group, especially if you see some of the trails out there. You know, you're around some folks that are out there to have some fun, which is always a good time. Donnie, how about you? How did you get involved with the squad?
Man, this goes back a while now. I think Steve, you're gonna have to help me out here a little bit because this whole journey's been quite a blur. I mean, a great blur. At that, it's probably around late 2020 or early 21 or so when I was blessed to have met Angelo Laforga and Jeff Nasago, who's helped create this whole thing as well. And we were out at a trail build, and it's at that time like really falling in love with mountain biking, what it's given me, what it's like how the community has treated me, wanting to give something back. That's really how it started for me in my mind, at least, was how do I become involved in something that's given me so much, give it back to the people, be in that position to do so. So I met Jeff Nasago, we were doing a trail build, and from there, I saw Trail Wolves was something that he was involved with Jason, and I just kind of Jason, I think I just threw myself in there, didn't I, kind of thing. Like,
you manifested it.
This is something. Yeah, this is something we can. You guys are doing something great with the community. We could tie it in, and the vision was just there. Everything, we were all just cohesive with the vision of everything. Yeah. And that's kind of how it all started from there. And I haven't really looked back with kind of, I would say we probably, the inaugural MTB division kind of event was the autism awareness back last year, which was great. We had a lot of support, a lot of help from a lot of communities out there. MTB NorCal, I see my big bro on here, Brian Gong. Shout out to Brian Gong, someone I looked up to and has been a huge help throughout this whole thing, and a great influence, obviously. So, and we just want to keep it going from there, just growing, having great people such as Luke and Chris on here to continue to the love and the support.
That's very cool. Dang, Donnie, thanks for sharing how you got involved with it. And you had said something that caught my attention, the whole giving back thing. And I noticed, Jason, when we were talking to you, there's the organization itself doing things for the community. We all know how good mountain biking and getting outside is for our mental health and just our health in general. But you guys are taking it a step further. You guys are picking organizations to give back to. Was there a need within the community that started that off, or was that always something that you wanted to do?
Yeah, giving back is something I've always wanted to do. However, right now we're currently working with LLS, which is Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And the reason for that is back in October, I was diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma, and I actually just went into remission last month.
Holy cow, congratulations, brother.
So whoa. Thank you. Appreciate that. So there's a lot, there's a whole, like Donnie said, it was just a ton of stuff that was going on that kind of got us to this point. But, it was during that time that, I got a lot of family support from these guys as well, from friends, family, and stuff like that. And I was thinking to myself, going through the journey of doing chemo by yourself, having kids, having family and stuff like that, and those that are affected, it's tough, right? And I can only imagine doing it on your own. So at the same time, what's up, Ryan? At the same time, thank you. At the same time, it's we wanted to be able to help those that don't have their help or wouldn't be able to have the support system. and LLS is one of those organizations that actually give back to people, that need it. Versus nothing wrong with donating to research and things like that, but
Yeah.
they actually have a fund that if that particular patient can't pay their bills and things like that, that they'll actually help them out with all that type of stuff. So
Dang.
it was just one of those organizations that came up, and we had a really good friend that just beat leukemia as well, and he's as part of that organization as well. So it just all kind of worked out.
Wow, that's very cool. I see MTB raging right there with the praying hands right there. That's awesome. Good to see you, Craig, on the show. Now, how
I
do
may
you?
add to that, Mark.
Yeah, go for it, Donnie.
Sorry, there's like one thing I'm really proud of what we're doing collectively as a group is just that. So case in point, I'm here visiting in the Philippines, and if they know nothing else about right now, they talk about trails. My family and relatives here. They talk about trails. They know nothing of off-roading or mountain biking. But what they do know and what they see is what we've done as far as our reach with autism, because so many people are different, so many people are affected by it, and obviously going through with helping, like doing things for cancer as well. So that's the point right there. I always like to say bigger. Mountain biking is a platform, but this is hashtag bigger than MTB. So how they're knowing us as is, oh, how's Trail Wolves going? Because they know it through autism. So that's the reach right there, right? That's the reach. That's the importance of community, giving back. Look, we do this for mountain biking, but people know it's not for mountain biking. That's what we want to go with.
Wow, that's cool. Thank you for adding that in, Donnie. Yeah. Holy cow, you guys. I feel like I need to do something.
No, you are right now. You're actually
you are
bringing the awareness.
Reach, and you're doing something now.
Oh, I appreciate that, you guys. That's awesome, man. DBMTB out there saying shout out Trail Wolves. That's so good. We got Octodad Marty. He's out of New Zealand saying cool. Love the bigger than MTB idea. That is very good. Now, when it comes to organizing, you guys have that down. And when it comes to fundraising for these organizations, how do you guys do that part as a group?
So the fund, well, it depends. So there's a lot of companies that want to be involved in everything. Like, they have philanthropy. How do you say it? Tongue twister there. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Donnie. But there's a lot of companies that want to be involved in things like that. And so all we do is basically offer a platform for that to be part of something, like Donnie said, bigger than MTB, bigger than off-roading, bigger than just their products or whatnot, right? So all we're doing is really bringing everybody together for a cause. And luckily for us, a lot of these companies, what they'll do is they'll donate items, because the events that we throw right now, everything's complimentary. So if you're a company, mom and pop shop, anybody that wants to be part of the movement, it's just come on by. It's free, right? We'll give you a spot as long as we have space. Right. And usually what they'll do is they'll donate something towards our raffles, and then what we'll do is we'll raise money with the raffles, and then donate that money towards the organizations. So there's a couple different ways of doing it, but I think right now the way we're doing it is awesome, because it's a win for everybody across the board. We want to make sure that the companies that are supporting us also get to market their stuff, that people see what they're putting out, and at the same time they come together and they also want to be bigger, or to put something towards a bigger cause, right? So there's a lot. It's a lot of moving pieces, but at the end of the day, I kind of look at it like it's all about working with good people and giving back, right? So and that's what we have right now, and we're just very blessed to have each other and doing what we're doing right now.
That's so cool, man. I love that. I'm looking at one of the posters right here from the past. It says there was a ride at 6/3/23, and I see a lot of the companies, their logos are on these posters. So that's definitely one way of getting some exposure. But as far as companies that you've worked with in the past that you would say really leaned in when it came to supporting the need for an organization, any company that you like to highlight that you've worked with in the past that you were just really impressed with?
Oh man, there's a ton. Man, I mean, King Shocks on the off-road side, King Shocks for sure. Brett King and the King Company. There's a ton on the MTB side too. I mean, Donnie and Chris can probably name a ton of them.
Element 6,
Right.
they've helped us with the event. There's a few more, like Fluid Focus from San Diego, Laguna Bike Shed with Ty. He was there also with us and helped support. UTV Speed, Better Bolts, and SSB. So those are some names. Yeah.
Hey, SSB.
Ooh.
Yeah, Better Bolts.
Adventure Rig Magazine. Man, there's so many. It sucks because I don't want to leave anybody out, but at the same time, I mean, if I go through this list, I mean, there's just tons of them. Pro Speed Roof Rack. I can't even tell you, man. There's a ton.
It's so cool that all these companies want to help out, and when you have things going on, events going on, it's great for everyone. Like you said, it's great for the group ride. It's great for the company to get some exposure. It's great for the Trail Wolves in general, just getting people together. But for that cause, that's man, that's like the next level when it comes to the group rides. That's pretty cool. I love it. When it comes to your Instagram, I'm looking at the Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and just pop up the Instagram here. Is there anything specific that you guys want to share on as I'm scrolling through here? Anybody who you want to give a shout out to or talk about as I'm scrolling through the Instagram?
Well, I'm sure a lot of the people who have been on our Instagram who have followed, there's a lot of posts from myself. So I'm not trying to hog it all. I'm just collaborating, first of all. But it's also, we have Kenton there and Luke posting, and also a lot of our NorCal guys. Shout out to everyone in the NorCal group. I see we got Brandon and Donnie right there. And it's showcasing a lot of group rides. That's the thing, that's what we're about, the community getting out there. So other than, a few cool videos of us jumping and coming through, the bigger focus is on getting everyone together. And like you can see in the photos, everyone's just having a great time.
Oh yeah. You guys, I was looking at, just the squad right here. Everyone's having fun. Now, I met this gentleman in the red on the far right. Now, he's high up within the Trail Wolves as well.
That's Jeff. That's brother Jeff. Yep, that's right.
There he goes. That's the guy who got you, Jason, into the mountain biking scene.
That's correct.
Good work, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
And then we also have Jello right in front. He's actually in Switzerland right now on vacation with his family. We've got Don in the back. And Ramsey, who came down also as well, NorCal guy, right next to me.
Dang.
And then Kent in the front and Luke, of course.
Yes. That's
Don't forget Kent.
Yeah, Kent right there. He's probably sailing over Muscle Beach as we speak right now.
Probably.
They're probably trying to get him off the mountain. Like, you gotta get off the mountain, bro. You got Jeff giving he's giving the horns. What's up? Man, you guys have done so much stuff. Now, we talked about all these things you guys have done, but when did the Trail Wolves start? What year was this?
2020.
Stop. 2020.
Yes, that's when it started.
Holy cow. So 2020, you guys, was it kind of like, obviously it started with the pandemic, but was it because there was time and you thought, you know what, I'm just going to throw this thing out there?
Yeah, that was actually during that time where, I was still on crutches and doing and trying to look for stuff to do. And that's when it kind of started,
Jeez, man.
It's one of another reason right here. You want to say hi? There's one of my kids right here.
What's up?
I wanted to say what's up. Hi. So one of the main reasons too, because I wanted to create something that they could be part of, right? And so, being outdoors, off-roading, mountain biking, all that type of stuff, right? Going places and stuff. So that was a whole nother reason to start Trail Wolves at that time. And the pandemic was, there was nothing to do. They were out of school, right? Like everybody was. So yeah, that's kind of, there's so much stuff that kind of went into creating where we're at now. There's really not one thing or anything. It's just by luck, by consistency and just meeting all of these guys and how we keep adding to the team and things like that just is what helped it grow.
That's very cool. One of the great things that I noticed is like it started as off-road, right? And then some of the interests that some of the guys had, like Jeff, he loved mountain biking. Super 73s were showing up, mountain bikes were showing up. Then you created a mountain bike division. And now I'm assuming it's going to be open to all types of things outdoors. Backstage, we were talking a little bit about a fishing division. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we have a couple guys that are like hardcore fishermen. And, we've been talking about getting into the fishing side of the house because, usually if you go out on the trails, right, a lot of times you're going to be by water or when you go camping, things like that, right? And so, yeah, we're going to actually have a fishing division that we're going to be starting sometime soon.
You see it right here, Mark.
Yeah, there it is right there. That's our first.
Oh, Donnie's got the shirt.
Yeah.
The merch.
Dang. Sweet. Now, what are some of the other divisions you guys, is that going to be the next one that's launching out, or do you guys have like a handful of these that are going to launch out in succession?
Yeah, so they'll be going phases. So fishing division is next after the MTB stuff, and then motocross, and then so forth. So it's going to be fun, it's just all about any. I mean, if you really want to use your imagination, anything that happens outdoors, activity wise, it'll probably be a phase later down the line. So.
Dang, Jason, man, from a thought to this and all this within like not even 3 full years.
Yeah.
And you guys are showing up strong. That's incredible.
And I'd also like to drive home for the 06 event. We only had about 3 weeks to plan this. So again, big thanks to Element 6 US for opening up their shop for us, as well as the other guys, Off-Road Warehouse and the 2 other breweries that also opened up their spaces. So within Trail Wolves, we're like you mentioned, we're very organized, and we were able to quick strike this one really, really, really quick. So it was successful in my books.
Yeah.
In our books, I should say.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, it just goes to show that there's definitely a need, right? For people to get together, the community, people still yearning from being kind of locked down for a bit and wanting to get out, and all the new stuff that people have got outside to enjoy. It's to find a community where you can enjoy with other people that are good and fun. I mean, you guys are onto this. This is great.
Right.
We got Danny Uo SoCal's on. He is asking archery. Are there anybody in the squad that's archers?
The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Unlimited, like
Yeah.
Jason just said.
You could probably combine archery fishing.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot the fish in the water.
Yeah, that is cool. Now, Jason, so that means you started mountain biking only 3 years ago as well?
Yeah, so I'm not into it like these guys are yet. I'm still kind of like a new guy in this whole thing. I did more of like roadie type stuff.
Okay.
But now I'm kind of like trying to get into what they're doing. They're more of I kind of like when they go hit the mountain biking trails, I hit the overland trails, right? So, that's what we complement each other in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully one day I'll try to get on these dudes' level.
That one day soon, Jace.
One day.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a lot to learn,
That means we'll push you on the bike. We'll get you right on there.
Yes, exactly. It's so fun. All that outdoor stuff is so fun. The bike. Now, Chris, Luke, and Don, when it comes to the mountain bike, what is it? How long have you guys been riding, and what type of mountain bikes are you guys on?
Do you guys want to go first, Luke or Donnie?
Go ahead, guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Luke.
Chris.
Point you out.
Oh, okay, I'll take it first.
Luke's got it.
Shoot. Okay. So I've been riding, for, I don't want to say like my whole life, but it was in high school that I kind of got into it. A buddy of mine, we would just go take our bikes out down the street, go take some jumps. I think every kid did that, right? And he introduced me into downhilling.
Ooh.
And it just kind of spiraled from there. Went up to Snow Summit, I think 2015 was the first time. Got into trouble up there a lot. And I rode specifically downhill for a good, 7 years, but just for fun, just kind of going up there. Park life was real.
Park rat Luke.
Yeah. I was the kook with the backpack at the park and like Vans. That was me.
We were all there once.
It wasn't. Yeah. And being up there, they'd have the race series to come up and I'd be like, "Ooh, that looks kind of fun." And I never really did it. until like last year is kind of where I started actually getting into the scene. And I was a lone wolf for a good long time, and I just kind of wanted that community, and that's when I started racing, started meeting these guys. I was on a demo 8 for a very long time. Shout out Chris for the demo life. But then I recently got the new Intense Tracer, and ultimately that's the bike that gave me the confidence to start racing, because my times just going down Snow Summit, Miracle Mile, and 10 Fly were up significantly. I was like, maybe I could do this. So
that is awesome.
So yeah,
what was it about? What was it about that Intense? What was it that, if you had to like nail it down, was it the geometry? Was it just the way the bike felt? It handled?
It was handling, and I think the mullet wheel. It struck me because I was on a 27.5, and having that 29 up front, but still the familiarity of the 27.5 in the back.
Yeah.
Gave me that rolling speed and just kind of quick in the corners. Whereas the Demo 8 is super planted, and it felt like it just ate everything. And so when I got on the Tracer, it was just super active. I could just flip, go around, and I just felt quick. And the time showed that.
Dang, you had the mobbing mentality for it, but then you had the playfulness, right? It was playful.
Yeah.
Brian Gong.
Yeah, the Demo 8, I closed my eyes.
10 Fly going to that Rocky Tree section. Brian Gong is saying they all need to be on Yetis. He's saying
we're down with it, Brian.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yes, do it.
If we only had a friend,
my bikes now,
right? If you guys only had a friend that was a Yeti ambassador, Brian Gong, there he is. Oh, so that's cool, Luke. So you're loving that, and that's the current bike that you're on right now.
Yeah, it's current.
Nice. And you're getting into racing. You kind of got bit by the bug. Are you signing up for those Kenda Cups?
Ooh. I got bit. Oh, okay.
We were close on that.
Uh-oh.
Don't get me started on Enduro. I tried Enduro for 2 races, and I was out there dogging it. In the second race, I was out there breathing super hard. I could, feel my lunch from 3 weeks ago coming up. And, I was like, you know what? The downhill, I need to get back to the park. Enduro's not for me.
Yeah, you only get to take the lift once, right? Get up to get over the backside.
Not at Vail.
Over at Vail. Correct. That's true. Vail is ambulance all the way up.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, they have the e-bike division though at Vail, and that's a little bit better. It's a little bit better.
It helps.
It does help. Donnie, how about you? How did you get into the sport, and what bike are you on right now?
So how I got in, mine's a kind of a funny story. I've never ridden a bike before. This was late 2018 going into 2019. My daughter was in a track at the time. Yeah. And so she was training. She's always running. And for the life of me, I can't jog. I can't run. So she was leaving me as, she was very young at the time. And I was like, I need to get a bike or something to keep up with this kid. And I would talk to my coworker at that time and about it, because he had kids, and he was like, you should get a mountain bike, because I used to mountain bike and I want somebody to go mountain bike with again. So I went to go buy a bike, and I didn't know when you say mountain bike, it was very specific. So naturally, I bought I went on Craigslist, bought a giant something, brought it over, and oh, that's not the right one.
Oh no.
Nevertheless, that was that. But shout out to my friend there, my old coworker, Henry Key. He's not on here, but if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have started. But my first bike that I rode rowdy for probably 3 years from that moment on was a giant Fathom, kind of a trail hardtail. So I rode that for over 3 years until 21. And at that point, my first full suspension that I still ride right now is my 5010, Santa Cruz 5010. And then afterwards, now I also have the Tall Boy. So both are the same meters.
Oh, yeah. 2 Santa Cruz back to back.
2 Santa Cruz.
Dang.
The playful, the fun, I like to call the 5010 the kind of made that one more my rowdy bike. And then the Tall Boy, I like to call the fast bike.
Nice. And with all the brands out there, you did start with Giant, and they're making some killer stuff too, but you ended up with Santa Cruz in the end. Does that seem like it's going to be the company for you moving forward, or are you just checking them all out?
It's more or less, again, being around the brothers over here at Trolls with Brother Jeff Nasalgo and Angelo LaForga just seems to populate in that manner when you're around the guys who ride in the same bikes.
Got
So
it.
there's definitely influence there from the big brothers.
Got it. Lots of Santa Cruzes. a lot of Santa Cruzes rolling around in that squad. That's cool, man. That's cool. And are you, as far as racing or anything like that, are you in the race scene at all, or?
I haven't. It's just more or less a little bit more of the time. Spent a lot of time in the early stages with the MTB, really developing it, helping grow, and getting a name out there, getting involved. It's definitely something that I'm looking into for sure as we get going. And again, it's probably more likely that I'll be able to get to do those things. We have good people like Chris and Luke over here helping the brand and the group grow.
Right.
Nice. So
take some of that, like, what do you say? Like, take some of that load off the shoulders.
Yeah, little pressure off.
Show some of the heavy lifting with other folks. You were really helping get 06 off the ground then, as the MTB division of the Trail Wolves when it was starting out. Then, that's cool. Done.
Crazy to think. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And then Chris, I see one of your cousins was on. Yael is on. He says, "Yo, go, cuz."
Yes. He's actually one of our development riders that we're looking into, as well as another person. But Yael is a really quick kid, only 11 years old. So you guys will see a lot of him on our website, on our Instagram, showing him off. So he's part of Trail Wolves too as well.
Oh man, we got prodigies coming up.
These kids are quick. Quick. Woo.
So Chris, tell us a little bit about your story into the mountain bike world and the current bikes that you're on.
All right. So my buddy Jay, shout out to Jay Borsina, Mag Mega Raptor. Anyways, he got me into biking about, I'm a COVID rider. Let's just put it out there like that already.
Oh, you are too?
I am. I mean, other than, like Donnie said, or Luke said, when you're a kid, you get on your Huffy, you go do some jumps, nothing serious like this. But so I started about that time on and off, and then I finally got into it more about 2021, and 2022 year really kicked off us going on trails, up in our mileage from 5ers to 15 to 26 miles, 30-mile rides.
Dang.
And then,
analog miles or e-miles?
Analog miles, baby. All
Dang, boys. Baby. What the heck?
It's a good weight loss motivator, and you're outside too, so it's fun.
Yes, definitely.
So then I got started racing just this year in January, and Kuya Jeff Nasalga, who introed me to the group, he actually put me in contact with Adam. Shout out to Adam out in Orange County, as well as Kent. And when I talked to Kent, we kind of linked up, and our first ride out was at Holdercrux, 4 corners, doing those jumps out there.
Oh yeah.
I really needed to level up my all my ability, let's just say. And that's how I met Kent. We started racing in January, and then he started talking to me about Trail Wolves. And I thought it was an interesting thing about, one, of course, we've been saying the community aspect, but also giving back. So it hit home that it's not as corny as Fast and Furious, but you have all the love there of the family as well. So
yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And to go on my bikes, so I'll go real quick. I started off real quick with a Dick's Sporting Goods special, the GT Aggressive Pro Hardtail.
How long did you have that one for? That was in 2020?
Yeah, it was maybe a couple, 2-3 months. And actually, no, longer than that. It's about 6 months. And then I was like, this can't be it. This is not enjoyable.
That long.
I survived on top of that too as well for that long. So I took a little bit dive into a full suspension. It's a Polygon Siskiyou D7, starter full suspension. Also quickly realized, oh man, I'm shredding pretty hard and this bike's not keeping up. So early 2020, I got a 2020 Giant Rain. Shout out to Giant. Very good Kashima coated out. I've been riding that ever since as a trail bike. And when I started racing, I quickly realized I wanted a downhill bike because why not? And I got a 20. That's everyone's, justification.
Right. We're not talking prices in case the wifeys are listening, right? We're just talking bikes. That's all we're talking about, bikes.
It's not about bikes. And And yeah, so it's a 2019 Specialized demo. The first year they did the switch in the kinematics suspension design and the 29er on both front and rear. So I roll that to race and to shred out the parks as well. So that's my stable so far, honey.
Nice. That's a good stable. And that DH bike, how's that thing been feeling?
The heavier the bike is, the faster it is. And it's nice and supple with Olin suspension. Thanks to some of my rider support. I want to shout out real quick Magura.
Yeah.
Crankhouse, Absolute Zero, Rando Power, at least to keep me going. Fast House too as well. So yeah, the demo's a sweet bike. But Brian, Buddy 2 just came back with their downhill. So yeah, I'm not tied to anyone.
Hey, look at that. Shout out to Brian Gong. Brian Gong, he's pretending like he can't hear, like his internet all of a sudden.
I know, he took off his earphone.
If you guys had a wish bike right now, you guys have amazing steeds in there, but if you had a wish bike, which one would you guys be picking up tomorrow for New Bike Day? If you could.
But you, Luke, I'm gonna be last. I'm gonna be last on this one.
You already know, Chris. You already know.
I had my first experience on an e-bike while we were down south with, shout out to Angelo and Jeff Nasalga.
Yeah.
Let me roll on their Bullet for the first time while we were down there at Greer and Sky Park, Sandus Village. So my first time on an e-bike then, and like, oh my goodness, a big bike at that too, right? So I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I need this. that was it's always, right? I need this.
It's a need.
It's definitely, it's such a, especially at Sky Park, that is such a great place to have the e-bike to just cruise back up to the top again, laps upon laps upon laps there. And Donnie, how did you feel in the corners with that e-bike?
It was really good. What I found was how, because it feels like that weight of it kind of plants you through the turns, and it's so confidence inspiring it felt. So that was a big one right there for me too.
Yeah, that's definitely, it feels like you're hooking up to a magnet into that berm, just boom, and it just holds. Now, what about like on Neverland Jump Line with a bigger, heavier e-bike? How did it feel at speed? Did it feel like it?
Time to getting used to. Yeah, it definitely took some getting used to. As it wasn't popping. The timing, I guess, a little bit more on timing and things like that is what it felt like for me. But again, it's like all these things like that are nothing but getting used to.
Dang. So Donnie's picking up an e-bike tomorrow, allegedly.
And practicing every day to get used to it. So,
right?
No excuses, Donnie.
Yeah, you have to practice. Right? If you guys are going to YT to check things out, let me know. I can help you out there as well. Luke, how about you, buddy? When you're heading over New Bike Day, which one would it be?
Well, I got to get back on a downhill. I got to be honest. I love the Enduro, but that new Intense prototype is looking nice.
Oh,
if that was out, I'd be looking at that one.
We were both looking at that at a Sea Otter when they were showing it off there at the frame. So
yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
I had googly eyes there.
What is it? What is it about that new prototype? What is it? What's the attraction for it?
It just looks sick, dude. It's just sick. Come on.
More to say.
What? Nah.
Yeah, dude, I love that feeling. You know what, guys? That's some of the best is like when you go at night and you go into your garage, you flip on the light to just look at your bike. And then you like turn off the lights, you're like, all right, that was a good fix. But like you want to ride it, right? It just looks so cool. I love that. I can
even
understand
if it's for 5 seconds.
Right? And everyone's like, are you feeling okay? Are you all right?
Right.
Oh man. Oh, we got Brian Gong. He's chiming in now. He's saying, Yeti, I'm here.
I would take a Yeti. 100%.
He says, I'm ride rapid a pivot right
now. Nice.
And he's got this one for you, Donnie. He says, Donnie needs the 160.
All right. Yeah, I'll take that one up too. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Done deal.
Nice.
Done deal. Orders in. Brian Gong, can you wrap the 160E for Donnie over here?
Yo.
Oh man, this is fun. I love it. Luke, in that Intense, what color way is it?
Oh, I don't know what. Oh, mine?
Yeah.
I have the black one.
Oh, the one that you were looking at, that prototype.
He has a story though to tell real quick. Yeah.
Oh, tell it.
So I had the tan tracer and I loved it, but I was racing downhill on it at SRC, and it was going through. It was going through a lot. And it was the last race of SRC, I think. SRC
Yes, it was the
6.
last one. Mhm.
I went down pretty bad in practice, landed right on top of my head. Luckily, I remember it. I don't know how, but the bike didn't make it through. So I cracked the rear triangle.
Oh,
and
geez.
I didn't know it for because I was off the bikes for 6 weeks, right? I cleaned the bike. I didn't realize. I went out to ride 6 weeks later when I was like, okay, I feel a little better. And the rear wheel was just going everywhere. And I was like, man, I lost it. I suck now because I crashed. So I took it to the Path. Shout out to the Path. I walked in there and the guy, Zach from the Path, looked at it for 5 minutes and kind of looked at me like, what are you doing?
Like, you're riding this thing?
Like, you didn't ride this, right? And I had 2 cracked rims and the rear triangle. So I reached out to Intense. They were awesome about it. They replaced it at cost. Just the rear triangle. They were just going to give me a rear triangle, but then they didn't have a matching color. They didn't have the tan one.
Do tell.
I guess that's an old colorway.
And then what happens?
So they emailed me. It was like, hey, Luke, we're so sorry. We don't have this one. Do you want a black one or a white one? Same cost. I was like, oh, let's get the black one because I really like the black one.
Wow.
So they sent me the black one. The Path put it all together for me, and basically it was new bike day.
Wow. A
full frame
bike.
So,
full frame.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It was just the frame. Yeah. So I transferred all of it. Yeah. Big shout out to Intense. Customer service was on point. Within 4 hours of me submitting the claim, they had emailed me out asking for pictures saying, hey, we're going to get this taken care of for you. Don't worry, relax. Because when you crack your $5,000-$6,000 frame, it's kind of like frame, a bike.
Yeah,
allegedly, kind of a bummer.
In case the wives are listening.
Yeah,
I was Stop.
She's at work numbers right now.
The numbers.
Yeah.
Talking
600. My bad.
Monopoly money. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So they were great. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you got the black one now. So that's awesome. Dang. So you would go with that prototype if you're getting new bike day tomorrow. And Donnie would be on the E, but then I think Gong's got him on the 160E. And then now, Chris, how about you? What would you be picking up tomorrow?
All right. If it was an enduro type of bike, I have ridden the 130 before. My buddy Marvin Guarino, he has that. I love the feel of that. And so I want the bigger version of that. I think it's the 160, I believe. Not the E, but the 160. I'd love to have that as as an enduro bike. And then what I found is I love the weight for racing for downhill. So any downhill bike that's heavy, but I wouldn't mind a YT2s also to session that in Hulda. By the way, my Specialized demo has a 12-speed on there to session Hulda. So I would slap that 12-speed also on there so I could session Hulda, which YT goes there a lot, by the way. So shout out to YT. I see you guys out there filming all the time. And those are the 2 I would get.
Oh, very good. This might be a good shameless plug for the 2S right now. They do have a sale going on. YT has a week. Yeah. I think they're 25% off right now.
Be right back.
Dude, some of the stuff that they've built out there, I think that's Sammy who's built some of the big hits in Hulda, and you see a lot of the guys out there from the YT mob just hitting it, and it looks so small on film, but when you see it in person, you're like, there's no way people are hitting this.
Just like I'm sure everyone has seen the videos at Hulda of these guys hitting the hips down to the valley to the hips and back. When you're staring at that from the ground, you're looking at a small mountain.
Yes, right.
You're looking at these guys fly in the air. So it's nothing like the first person view shows. But I can't wait till I could get back out and do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be close. That'll be close. You're getting there for sure. Guys, we're already pulling up on an hour, and I can hear the island ocean water calling Donnie and the family down to the beach. But let's give some shout outs to some of the companies
Sure.
and folks that help you guys. So, as the Trail Wolves and O6 divisions, who are some of the companies that you guys would like to highlight?
All right, guys, we made this official. We're already prepared, Mark. So if you guys don't mind, Donnie and Luke, I'm going to go through it real quick because of time. First shout out, all the wives and significant others. Pretend you heard no numbers, but we all love you a lot. We got, I won't say the names who they're linked to, but thanks to Grace, MJ, Jessa, Shannon, Anna, V, Maxine, and Mary. And then we're going to move on to all the guys, NorCal, Trail Wolves peeps, Jello, Jeff, Donnie present with us. Reno. We got Kiko. What's up, Kiko? He's our captain out there with Russell and Randy. Pack shout out Brian Gong. What's up, man? Victor Santiago, Vince, Nate, Kuya Nico, Kuya Rowie, Kuya Minan, Sam Brown, Chris Wright. He's one to look out for too. Good racer guy.
Yeah, Chris.
And shout out to also the NorCal groups real quick. MTB NorCal, Lomi Homies, East Bay Rippers, Cicads, Toolbox, Colorado Kid. What's up, Jay Wood and Dom Trinidad? Real quick for SoCal.
Sweet.
SoCal team. Adam, good luck on your surgery. Good recovery, I should say. Kent, of course, and Luke. Partners with us with Element 6, Fluid Focus. Ty from Laguna Bike Shed, UTV Speed, Better Bolts, and SSB. Our groups out here, Pogi MTB, JP Hari, Risky Riders, Reckless Riders, Susio's MTB, Full Suspense, Southwards Race Company, Austin, Richard, Yale, JR Scott, Grand, Alex, Andy, San Diego, and Caesar. All the Huldacrook riders, especially Monty Magnolia. So if everyone is in Huldacrooks and you see a dark Filipino dude with no shirt ripping the jumps, say hi to him.
He's going no shirt?
All the time. Okay, almost done. Sorry, guys. Blake Rossi, Brock, Stramler, Jed, Henry, Landon, Jay Borsine and Marvin, Jordan Trent, Jaime Sevilla, Mike Johnson, and both Brads. So that's it. Sorry, guys. That's the list.
And P.S. shout out to you, Mark. Shout out to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Without
thank
everybody,
you, Mark.
again, it's all about the
100%.
community. Trail Wolves MTB, Trail Wolves in general, be nothing without the community. So shout out to everyone tuning in, everyone supporting. And one final one, shout out to my new local bike shop, American Canyon Bike Shop, which is Julia and Steve. They're brand new. So if you're up in NorCal, check them out.
Sick. Awesome. That's awesome. Dude, Isaiah from the Trail Dogs is on. He says, dang, they were prepared.
Right.
That's awesome. Kevin's giving you the shakas and the prayer hands. Marty Richards out in New Zealand saying both Brads. Right on, right on.
Both Brads.
I love it. You guys, thank you so much. Most important question before I let you guys go. Where can people follow the Trail Wolves? And if a rider wants to be a part of the pack, how do they do that?
You could always follow any of our Trail Wolves main page, Trail Wolves for Off-Road, but specifically at Trail Wolves MTB on Instagram. We're building our Facebook page. It's still under construction, as well as the YouTube page. But you'll definitely be able to find me, Donnie, Luke, Kent, Jeff, and Jason on there as well. That's as followers. And yeah, just Trail Wolves MTB.
Trail Wolves.
It's kind of close.
Anybody who's in the area, SoCal, NorCal, you message us. We will respond, and we will set up a link time wherever. If you're in NorCal, wherever you're gonna ride, and then SoCal. That's just how we roll. Let us know you guys want to come out and ride, and we'll be there to roll with you.
Yeah, there's a few of us running the account too. So it is SoCal, NorCal. We see everything. We designate everything. Like, for example, we just had a group from Arizona come out, kind of help them with some of the Trail Wolves peeps get up to Snow Summit just last weekend. So shout out to the Fur Runners, both of them.
That's cool. Now, and then Luke, as far as anybody who wants to join the Trail Wolves, like how you got on, do you have to be a racer? Do you have to do something specific? Or can you just say, hey,
come ride? Yeah. See us on the trails, come say hi, give us a fist bump, a shaka, and your Trail Wolf. Just come in. Yeah, it's community.
Love it. I love it. Follow them, everybody, on Instagram at the Trail Wolves. You'll see him on there on Facebook as well as on, well, obviously on Instagram. But boys, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Isaiah's asking one last question here. He's saying we're going to have an event at Sky Park called Ride and Shine on July 15th. And we wanted to invite the Trail Wolves to attend. If you guys are around and can make it, it's going to be a great, great, great gathering. Basically, the first part of the day, we have content creators and crews riding all together at Sky Park, having a good time. And then around 1 o'clock, we go to the terrace. We've got speakers, motivational speakers from within our mountain bike community. And we just illuminate stories of hope around mental health and have a good time talking about that and kind of like get rid of the stigma around asking for help for mental health. So that's on July 15th. If you guys want to be there, we would love to have you there.
We're on board. We'll help you push for that. July 15th, count us in. So at least one of us or a few of us will be there.
There we go. There we go. Isaiah Bernstein with the question and Chris with the answer, just like that. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Trail Wolves, thank you so much for jumping on. Really appreciate the story. Thank you to Jason Flores. I know he had to run. His kiddo was at wrestling practice. Chris Santos, Luke, and Donnie, enjoy the beach on the islands, my man. And folks, we'll see you all later on episode 116. 115 here is a wrap. See you guys at the top.
See you guys. Thanks.
All right, everyone. Peace
We'll
and
see
love.
ya. Thanks.
You.